Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. We're over here at, and we're going to share that show on stream. There we go. Hey, look at that. Oh, it's going to open up. That's the wrong one. I'm sorry. Don't want to share that one. All right, so I have to go back to here. I didn't want to see all this other stuff, so I'll erase the docs. Twitch activity. And maybe I'll just show a screen. Share screen. Screen window? Maybe there. Is that going to do the same thing? Show one thing. Yeah, I think it's going to do the same thing. Damn. All right. Well, because I do have it over there. I can see what y'all see versus what I see. So you're all going to see what I see. Does that make sense? Brandon, have another beer, son.
Can you see what I see?
Can you see what I see? What do I want them to see? That's the main deal. So I want them to see. Yeah, there it is. Now I know what I'm going to do. First thing would be to. Well, I'm trying. Oh, I know what I got to do. All right, I got to go over here, and then documents. Bear with me, everybody. Still working the kinks out in this thing. Yeah. All right. Stop there. All right. Now I can share this screen. All right. So, share screen window. There you go. Share that. All right. Share it on the screen. All righty there. There you go. All right, everybody. Sorry about the delay. Hi, I'm Joe of the Joe Slick Live Show. My interactive live show is on twitch.tv/Joe Slick Live. Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and occasionally in the evenings at 7. During the live show, I review and talk about reports from government, private, and other reporting agencies and websites regarding celestial and terrestrial phenomena. Topics will include solar flares, sunspots, geomatic storms, and near-Earth asteroids and comets that are being monitored around the world. Included in the report is current events in the last 12 to 24 hours here on Earth, consisting of volcanic, seismic, and weather events. I close the morning report off with what's happening in the local and world news. Thank you, and you can be a part of the morning report by going to twitch.tv/Joe Slick Live. Look forward to seeing you there, and remember, don't get none on you. And over there, YouTubers, please subscribe, like, and share it. Hit the bell button to let you know when we do it. There you go. All righty. All right, cool. So that got done. I figured out how to do it. You know, you gotta do it. Let's say hello to those people who are on there and over on Twitch. Good evening, Tim. Also, my buddy Luke there. And Canuck. Good evening to both of you. Quake Cat, Planet Vampy. Lay Girl 19, just simply Sue, good evening or morning to you. Calmness 55 and Flutter Girl and Info 234. Might be a bot, might not be. I don't care. Anyway, good evening to you all. The volume just got way lower. It's all the way up. Let me see here. Yeah, it's maxed out. Turn your volume up, sweetie. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's just quickly say what the stats are right now, real real quick here. Solar wind right now is 369. Proton density is 2. We've had an M1 and a C8 flare today, but we've had like 5 M1 flares in the last 24. So let's take a look. Come on. There you go. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost a 6th. This was a C5? Yeah. C8, sorry. Almost. And we're on the rise right now for something. We don't know. So, yeah, we had a bunch of M flares today in the UT. So that's what's going on. They're talking about some fragments of a comet, maybe happening, maybe not. KP index is under 3. Corona hole is going to give us some wind, solar wind on 13th or 14th, maybe just a little bit. Possibility of an M flare is now up to 60%. Class X is 15%, up from 5. Yep. So right now we're looking at 30% for mid-latitude geomagnetic storm, 15% for upper level. Tomorrow it's 20% and 15% respectively. And we did talk about the rocks already, and you can watch the morning report over there on YouTube. It's posted, so go ahead and check that out real quick to see if there's if the trimmer report's out. It doesn't look like it, not out yet. The buoys, do we have any stinking buoys bouncing around? Any drunk Chinaman out there? I don't see any. That's because they got sunk, in my opinion. Power outages. We still have a ton of people without power. Keep your prayers up for them. 1.3 million people over in East Texas.
Location,
Yeah.
Mindanao, Philippines. Class, strong. Magnitude, 6.7.
6.7 Philippines.
Philippines. All right. Let's look at it. Dynamic Earth. We're going to Dynamic Earth. Whoa. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Oh.
See, I told you something always happens.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, we got one knocking in pretty hard.
Yeah, that one, Sulawesi. So it's in southern Philippines. It's closer to Sulawesi. So we've been watching Ibu and Dakota pop off. That's in their neighborhood. So I don't know that USGS will have it, but let's go ahead and look at the EMSC real quick. This is live, everybody. Yep, it's live. Who felt it? Who dealt it? Yeah, yep. There's here's Sulawesi. It looks kind of like a starfish walking. It's right there, the southern part of Philippines, in a Philippine trench. Or not, it's not in the Philippine trench. That's, I don't know where the hell that is. It's not the Malacca Sea. That's what, a Celeb Sea? Let's go ahead and USGS see if they've got it. No, they don't.
Worldwide alert. Mindanao, Philippines. Magnitude
Mindanao.
6.6. 7 minutes
Downgraded
ago.
already. The Sulu Sea. It's in the Sulu Sea right out here. Let's go ahead and look to see if there's a tsunami warning. What's the depth? Do you know? Does anybody know? There we go. We'll get that. Boom, boom, boom.
I got to go into it to see.
They don't have it up yet. So yeah, they don't have it up.
632 kilometers depth, it says.
Woo! Dang. Yeah, I think 633, 6.6. Still waiting on a US to figure it out. Source is poured by the Potsdam GF zone. They always get it wrong. So I don't know why.
And you know what's interesting? It's on the same line from the 6.7. going up South Sumatra right into the Philippines.
Show on stream. There we go. Now they can see it all. I don't know what happened. No tsunami next. It's too deep. US got their dirty little beaters already. Well, there's my cameras, so we don't need to see them. You can check it out here. This is on deck. I love deck. Muzzy is a great dude. Some people don't like him, but I like him. I don't care. I get along with him. So nice prop all the way through Japan, Taiwan, Indonesia, Darwin has even got some, and you can see it over here beginning in Fiji. This is not a 6.2. Share this tab instead. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, you all see it, right? Yeah, you do. Yeah, so they don't have a warning here, so it's not gonna. It's too deep. USGS doesn't have it. The last region was a 4.5 up here in Japan, up here in the Isuzu Islands, which is relatively close to there, but this whole region is just banging away. And if you drew a line from the one off the coast of Japan, Tomoka, 4.6, to the ones that are off of the pretty good little quake that we had right here, 5.4 in Indonesia, draw a line and pretty much it's close to that area, you know, or even if you draw a line off this Isuzu, which is the latest Japan one, I can hear the bells. Hand settings. Boom, 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 boom. I gotta make sure. What the heck? Why I can't hear the ding bells? I don't know. There. No, that's the wrong one to do it. There you go. Yeah, I think that's that. Yeah, that's all that. All right, so we're set there. Turn that one down. Planet Event, be a good one. Unbelievably slow geologic site. Unscrupulous scientists get silly. U.S. GS. Oh my gosh. I think the pinheads who are political, I think they're the bad ones. But I don't think the geologists are bad at all. I think they just don't. They have to do what they're told. Indio just popped with a 2.7. Did you feel it? Because he's over there by him. Actually, yeah, he might have felt that one. He's over on the other side of the mountain, on the other side of Palm Springs. He may have not felt that. Who's they? He? Hey, what?
I hear it.
Freak. Your
Carl.
alarm's going off. Yeah, I checked mine. What mine? Mine's in the garage. Oh, my land. Got a new image for Big T-shirt Billy right here. So I'll be sending that out to him. Let me check out the cameras out on the street so I can see what the heck, who's on out there. And it sounded kind of like no, wasn't our guys. Oh, the neighbor. No.
Yeah, it's in the Celebes Sea.
Yeah.
Which does get deeps.
Yeah, there's deeps in that area. All right, so I'll minimize that. And for those who don't know who Big T-shirt Billy is, he's this knucklehead that we're always messing with. And there he is. There's Big T-shirt Billy right there.
Class, moderate, magnitude, 5.3, depth, 750 kilometers.
750.
Yeah, I got to see what that was. I couldn't hear what it said. Probably New Zealand, 5.3.
Yeah, 700 deep.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm looking at it now, but it almost looks like it's a It's a result of the other quake. Reindeer, Alaska's got it. Redoubt, Alaska's got it. Kodiak. It's all the way to Sandpoint, all the way through all the Alaska. It's in Bella Bella right now. Hitting Petrolia pretty soon, actually.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you do get the ghost quakes.
Pitone.
I don't know whether that is what it is or not, but it's interesting. It's going
The Antarctic's got it. This is a heavier quake.
Well, I don't know. There's USGS is saying a 6.9 now.
Yeah, that's probably right.
621 km deep.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now as well.
Yep.
And that's I'm thinking it is heavier as well than what it was reported a minute ago.
Well, as hard as it ringing, it seems like it's a 7.
It rang the bell, yeah. And we haven't heard any bells other than ding, ding, ding. No details yet on the magnitude. They got it at a 6.9. I think it might be a little bit bigger than a 6.9. And it's an interesting place. Philippines had a 7 right before the 7.6 that happened out here. It happened right there, and they downgraded that radically. And it did the same thing. So if they do what they did with this other earthquake, because it had a little tsunami into General Santos, that other one did, but this is really deep. And for it to hit that hard at that depth, we're looking for mid-7 and a shallow within 1,000 miles on the map. So if we're looking at 1,000 miles, let me see what would be 1,000 miles here.
Well, I just think it's going up the line from
Alaska just popped again too.
South of Africa quake.
Yeah, it's going on a dead line right there. Yeah.
Yeah, if you follow
Sumatra and there,
the Southwest Indian Ridge there.
6.7.
It's right on the line with the Sumatra quakes from earlier today, and the one that just happened.
6.8, 6.87. Sorry, 6.8, 6.8, 6.7, 6.9, 6.8, 6.9, 6.7, 6.9, and 6.7. So average those out. That's the South African earthquake. They call it South Africa, but it wasn't South Africa. It was below it.
Antarctic plate boundary.
The Antarctic plate boundary. And that was a heavier quake. Oh, man, that whole area is hulking out. Yeah. The southern Atlantic had a 5.1 on the today as well.
And then South Sandwich had a 5 too.
I'm going to look this one up here.
With the 6.7 south of Africa.
All right, this one's a 5.
Makes a nice triangle.
Yeah, 5.6, 5.7, 5.5, 5.7, 5.5, 5 or 5.6, 5.6. What do they call it? A 5.1. The Mid-Atlantic, it was a 5.6. So, yeah. So that was a 5.6, and then Sandwich Islands. Let's check that one out. Origin magnitudes. I'm doing magnitudes. I'm not doing what USGS does, so you're aware. They do a whole different thing, and I'll play that recording again. What the hell? Somebody's car just 5.6, 5.6, 5.3, 4, 5.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5. I think it's a 5.5. Sandwich Island's a 5.5. So, what do you say? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
it makes a nice triangle down there.
it sure does, doesn't it? Wonder if it'll be red. You know what? If it's a USGS, their AI is a little bit kooky. Just say the least.
Yeah, but the seismologists still have to review it.
Yes, yeah. And still saying 6.9. Still saying 6.9. Looking at dynamic Earth, the Southern Antilles, and it looks like a new Nicaraguan coming in. Pecos, Texas has got something all the way to Virginia. What are Virginia, U.S., West Virginia, Oklahoma, Reno, Nevada. There it is. There's the 7 official. $7.1. All righty, 7.1.
I don't know. I just find this ironic. We go live for the rabbit hole and all this
I
stuff
know.
happens again.
Typical, right? Typical.
Yeah.
And view it on the tab, share it. There you go, baby. There you go. That's 7.1. And so we're this is what we do live, she said. Whatever. Yeah. You don't even know your personal pronouns. Oh man. Yeah, it freaking is. One job. The region probably felt a bit too much, sort of like Fiji. Help me out with that, cat, please. I don't understand that comparison. This one, let's see if they got the origins up. Magnitudes. All right, they do.
There's probably felt reports on Twitter already, I imagine.
Yeah, there's a 7. There's a 6.8, a 6.7, a 6.9, a 7, a 6.8. There's a 3/4 one here even. 6.9, 6.9, 6.9, 6.8, 6.7. So I don't think it's as strong as a 7.1, but they do.
Yeah, well, it hasn't updated on my app yet. It says still 6.5.
I've got it on USGS right here.
You know, the USGS hasn't had a 7 in a while, so you might have to bump the stats up just slightly.
Yeah, just give it.
You got to keep the specs going. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been too boring lately. So.
Yeah, well, you know. Felt more like a rocking motion as opposed to usual surface shaking. I mean, there plenty of shaking that went on. A whole lot of shaking went on. Share this tab here. There is some noise out there in the world. A lot of noise in Central America. And South Africa, the Falklands. Interesting how they're the last ones. Dominican Republic, West Virginia. There's another quake that happened because the West is feeling it differently. 2 quakes did just happen. So just by looking at the yeah, see, USGS doesn't. They don't have the one in New Zealand. Walker, California just had a 3. Oh. Colville. Walker's right here. Do you remember when that was going on? That's what I was telling you. You know what? They're listening. You know why? Because this is exactly what I told them. They were wrong because the AI was saying this Colville Walker, which is, you zoom in a little bit. This is Walker right here, right? Colville. It was calling out this place there, Merkleyville. And clearly it's not even close to Merkleyville. Yep, here's another dinger. Is it reset? Still showing 7-1. Still showing 7-1. So there we have it. That's in Cali. And here's the 7-1. I'm going to go ahead and look up again. I don't believe there will be, but the tsunamis. It's there now. They have a 6-9. And no tsunami advisory. They have it at 386 miles deep. And the other one is, here, I'll show you so y'all can see it. Yeah, you can see it. You can see it 386 miles deep. And then they have it at, what is this? 620 kilometers. So if I took the calculator and what did we say? 620 divided by 1.6, 387. They have it at 386. So yeah. So they got the same depth and they call it a 6-9, and I'm leaning toward the 6-9, tell you the truth, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Cavalier shakes like Santa's belly during 7s. I felt like a boat when it went. It felt like a boat when boat went by and I was standing on a dock in a lake. Okay. So what were you standing on, one? And why did you say it felt like a boat if you're standing in the lake? Standing on a dock in a lake. Wasn't there docks on the side of the lake, but not in the lake? But how did the boat work out?
Some of them float.
Yeah, I was going to say. Magnitude level doesn't necessarily mean tsunami. So many dynamics need to come together and create a tsunami.
So a wake from a boat would make it.
Yes, Kat, you're
The
right.
ones that float. The docks that float.
It was an interest of mine to see if they would call it. I was on the 3rd floor in my kitchen. I was describing what it felt like during Ridgecrest. Both of you came at the same time, late girl. Oh my God. I was 100 miles away from San Jose. And, you know, Ridgecrest, I watched that thing come at me. Sure did, like a big bullet. 10 seconds away. Anyway, got to keep you on the loop. I know, right? Got so much things I'm doing here, you know. Jeez. I think the only one who can sympathize really is if you've done this before, or, you know, Luke, when he was here trying to do it, he's like, screw that. I'll wait till he gets back. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I've watched other people do it, but
yeah, it's not the easiest to do. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but it's fun, you know. Once you get it, you got it, and you just got to hit the right damn button, and you got to sink it in. You got to talk it through. Cockadoo. What's up with Nevada? Nevada had a quake too.
Yeah, I could probably do it or learn how to do it because I'm looking at 7 screens right now. So
Well, you got to have all 7 hooked up to the one machine and run it. Planet Vampy says, "Go get me a beer, make me a sandwich." I'm a tectard. Tectard. I could never do. It's all right, late girl. When you come back to AZ, you'll stop by. You'll see the studio here, and because you are a contributor, we'll allow the venture in. I can feel the road move consistently during rush hour and more. Of course, you're driving down the dang road. Oh my gosh. I know you are. I know you are. Walker Lane looks real busy here on the screen. Let me see if y'all see that. You don't see it, so let me share it with you, buddies. Ding, 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 ding. Here we go. Walker Lane is a lineament that travels down the coast from Oregon, or maybe even more north, depending on if it bends. I tend to draw straighter lines, and Canuck draws squiggles at times, not that always, because I think in my own mind the bending would be the guitar string strung, and that's the bend, and that's what some people see. So I see straight lines, like like the world is straight, right?
Well, yeah, according to the expert on Walker Lane at the University of Nevada at Reno, he says it goes from Haida Gwaii to Gulf of Cali.
Right. And if you go Haida Gwaii, which is right up here, straight down the face, and it ends up down here. Do you think pressure coming up from the south and down from Wanda could make a bigger quake? It could contribute, Lake Girl, but I think I always liken it to this. Well, there's a remake of something. Still 7-1. 3.
I think the pressure comes from 3 directions on the lineaments, at least, to make a big quake.
I'll let the expert men in the field that question. No, right? In my opinion, the Pacific Plate is counterclockwise pressure. I believe the Pacific Plate's moving northwest. And when something breaks in the south here along this lineament that goes from Fiji all the way out to Iceland, yeah, it does. Straight out that way. It's because this is the weakest part of the plate. And then it backfills. Yeah, that's how I see it. I don't see it starting in here and working its way back. Meaning this is the initiator. No, it's the weakest part of the plate. The weakest part of all the world is right here, Tonga, Fiji, and this. And because most of the deeps are happening there. But it's pretty fast going down. I choose not to, but yeah, pull my finger.
But it appears this round is starting at Antarctica and going up from there.
Yeah, Antarctica right here. Make sure you got. Oh, you don't show on screen. All right. Sorry, share this tab instead. There you go. All right, here's the Antarctica quake, the 6.7 that happened earlier or late last night. And I didn't put it in the morning report. I was having too much fun. Anyway, then we had this quake here, the mid-Atlantic, and then this one over here. That's 1652. Yeah. So this one's afterwards. So there's your triangle right there. This triple junction had a triangle working. Crazy right here. A lot of power right there, you know. And over here, then we had this happened today at 1800 hours. This one first, then this one. What about this one here? 12, and that was at 5. So 5, 12, and then this is at 17, and this is at 12 too. No, that's it.
Yeah, the antipode of the 6.7 south of Africa Antarctic ridge quake is up by Alaska, so that's kind of interesting.
Uh-huh. And we did have a shoot. Look at this. It's not there. There was one right up in here. Probably have to go 7 days, right?
Probably to see it. Yeah,
it's not there. They don't have it. Can you believe that crap? Look. All right. There it is. There's the 4.7 right there. Share this tab. Central East Pacific rise happened today. USGS has it. It's a 4.7. But where is it? Not there, or is it way up here? 4.7, way up there. All right. Well, anything that happens around Easter Island, I always look north, because it tends to happen that this area responds from there. I don't know why. Now that it's a little bit north of Easter Island, I don't know. I can't call it. And we're looking at 7 days here. This is all days, 1 day, all mag. Big quake there happened today. And crazy. And I'll be sharing this on and off because Pakistan and Kazakhstan just had a little bumpity bump, and Dialto Japan is still rumbling. And the Southern Antilles again just had one about 15 minutes ago.
Well, if you look at the GPS data, the Antarctic plate is pushing up on all the other plates.
Correct. Yeah.
So.
Yes, sir. And
and you know what angle it is if you look at the GPS arrow down by where the 6.7 south of Africa one happened. The arrow is pointing right up the southwest Indian Ridge.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, it's pointing right up the southwest Indian Ridge, right where, if you follow that same line, it's where the southern Sumatra quakes happened and the Celebes Sea one just happened. And if it keeps going on that line, I followed the line. Guess where it goes?
Hold on. Don't give me the answer. Let me look it up. You got to look at the bottom of Africa here. All right. So we're looking at here's Africa. Here's the African Rift. Bouvet Island down here. That earthquake happened where? Well, yeah, east of Bouvet. So Marion, there's a hot spot. There's a triple junction down there. Compressional and strike slip, and there's hot spots, Kerguelen's down there. And you're saying it's going away.
I think it's going right up that line, right to Anchorage. That's where I think it's going.
Well,
so we'll see in the next couple of days, which makes sense because Walker Lane's going up the other way, and we just had the Vancouver Island swarm. So that's coming up the other way. So if it's doing what I think it's doing, it's going to converge probably on Alaska somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm more inclined to think Alaska is going to go pretty good size here. But
so we'll see if that's what
you're saying over Bouvet, Tristan Kahuna. No, we're not talking there. You're talking Bouvet. Bouvet is here. It happened on the South Indian Ridge, the Marion hotspot. I have that on screen. Can you see that? Yeah, you can.
Yeah, Bouvet is where the South Atlantic anomaly is, and where the weird anomaly that was on Frenchy Sky before they scrubbed it.
I know, right? All right. So, but all the arrows are pointing toward Australia, not Australia, but Iceland. No.
What's that?
Toward what I can
What's that?
there's only about 170 more. Oh, another update. Three. Well, I don't know what's going on, but Alaska and California are popping right now. But all the arrows are pointed toward this into and past Kerguelen on the so-called GPS. My microphone moved. Hey, stop that.
All right.
There you go. Yeah, the last time I was doing Rabbit Hole, the damn thing busted. You don't know what happened yet.
Being rough on it, man.
Yeah, yeah. I only have half a beer here, so so that's interesting how it's pointed down rather than up. But if you go to the Pacific plate the Atlantic plate underneath Africa, and which way does it push? Toward South America. Well, that's interesting. Everything pushes toward South America, toward the East Chile Rise. When did that one? Well, that happened yesterday, right? It's not on there. God bless America.
I don't know. Maybe you guys have discussed this here in the previous few minutes, but do you think the 6-7 from early this morning and now the 7-1 are on the same letterman?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. If I show you, I got it on screen. Let me see. Do I have it on screen? Yeah, I do. So I have it on screen for y'all. Now I got to find it again. Here we go.
It lines up with the South Sumatra quakes too.
We have this one, this one, this one,
Okay.
this one. Right? Now, if you go the opposite way, this one, or you can even come down here, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and then up in Alaska. And it looks to me like, just the other day, Alaska the whole tail was just dumping.
Let me ask you this. Does that the 6-7 and the 7-1 now, is that limit push right into where we've been having that small swarm in Canada?
No, it goes more towards Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I just extended that line out on
Bay or whatever it is.
just to see where it would go.
Yeah. The Cook's Inlet right here, Cook Inlet, that's where it's going toward.
Right.
Which before it hits there, right here, or is it right here or is it right here?
But
There's
when I researched the Vancouver Island swarms, there always ends up being a big quake above it whenever Vancouver Island has a swarm. So anywhere from Haida Gwaii on up, that's what it does. So now
the Fairweather Fault.
Yeah, so now with this thing that it's doing now, to me that even adds more credence to that theory. Because what I did, I looked up all the Vancouver Island swarms and what year and what dates they were. And it was always before there was a big quake, Haida Gwaii North.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And this goes way back, like that, because they have records of the swarms going back. I think as far back as I went, I think was the 70s.
So do you think we'll see a bigger quake up in Alaska here in the next few days now because of this 7-1?
Yeah.
And so do you?
I don't know how fast it's going to be. Maybe it'll be super fast because we just had the 5 flares. I don't know. We'll see.
India.
Are you expecting maybe like an 8, maybe our first 8 in a while?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be an 8, but
we can. It's hard to really say. Call out a power of something like on this one here. Generally speaking, you look at the depth. It's 620 kilometers, and you kind of say, well, if it was shallow, how much stronger would it be? You wouldn't have all that landmass to work through. You wouldn't have all that gobbledygook to work through. And if it was 25, kilometers, then this would probably be 7.6, 7.7, somewhere in that range. So
Well,
what
I
I
would
do,
say at least a 7.7, probably a 7.8 actually.
well, a half a point higher generally. I don't like to go full points because you can go 8.1 on some people. But I generally say a half a point or a half a point, and then I say, okay, within 1,000 miles of that, and then I drop it down 2 points. So if it's a 7.6, then probably 7.4 in the next 24 to 48 hours within the maritime continent. And
Up there by Guam, right?
yeah, Guam is out here. It's within the maritime continent. Yeah. But
You gotta be worried it might tip over,
the liniment that it's working, boom, 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 and it could be really up here in the Bonin Islands. I don't know what their normality is for bigger quakes.
Well, you don't want like a mid-7 near Anchorage. That wouldn't be good.
No, that'd be devastating up there. Yeah. But also, if it's close to Manila, when's the last big Manila earthquake?
That's been a while, hasn't it?
Been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up here. Manila earthquake. 7.6. Look at that, 7.6.
Was that in like 2018?
I'm looking it up. No. Oh, come on. Oh, no, that was the old one. I have to look up in the wiki. So let me do that here. Stop sharing this there.
I thought that I might be mistaken, but I thought there was a bigger one up there in 2017 or 18 or something like that.
I was thinking of like 2010.
It could be. I could be totally off on my years.
I'll find out here in a second.
Philippine, PINS, earthquake. And then Reuters.
And I might be thinking down closer toward Guam too, maybe.
1863, they had one. Pretty powerful, 7.4. And you don't want an earthquake. 1863 is one. Historical, Luzon, Sergio, 1879. Mindanao, 1897. 20th century, here we go. Luzon, 1999. 21st, here we go.
Because you're going to get
there's a lot. There's a lot in the 21st century. December 23 was Mindanao. November 23, Mindanao. Luzon, 22. Davao, 21. Davao, 21. Masturbate, 20. 19. Davao del Sur, 19. Batañas, 19. I think the Batañas was a 6. Yeah.
It says the largest earthquake in the history of Manila was a magnitude 7.5, which occurred on 30th November, 1645. So that goes way back. They
get big ones. Yeah. I remember watching some Philippine earthquake when I was a kid. Younger. Let's say 6.5 Eastern Seamar. Luzon. 6.1. 6.5.
August 2nd, 1976, Manila had a 7.3.
All right, so that's the one I'm thinking of. 1976, you said? 73 had a 7.4 Ray Gulf earthquake.
Yeah.
76 Morro Gulf. All right, so we have two in 73 and then 76. I'm look up 76. I remember that when I was younger, it was an 8 on a moment magnitude scale. Earthquake was accompanied by destructive tsunami that resulted in majority of the estimated 5,000, 8,000 fatalities. And yeah, that's the triple junction. So let me share this tab instead. Show this on the stream. Here we go. So we don't control what happens on the rabbit hole.
No, something always happens.
Yeah.
Everything around.
7.6 Moral Gulf right here. And then in 73, in that same kind of area. Let me see. Is it the same area? No, it's a little bit north.
Well, it says there was a Mag 7 up getting closer to Manila, July 27, 2022.
That might be the one I'm thinking of. Canuck.
2022.
Probably is.
Not sure.
That was Luzon, no?
Yeah, it says Luzon, yeah.
Yeah, that was on the island. In the middle of the island had a 7.
Yeah.
And it was north of Manila. And that's when
Tall was going crazy.
Taal was going crazy. We had a bunch of 5s just off the coast, and Taal was smoking. I mean, it was like, yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, I bet if you looked up the tall stuff, it would match probably the quake dates.
Yeah.
Because I think I did that one other time.
All right, Taal volcano wiggy.
Tall eruptions.
Yeah, I am. Eruptions pre-20 15 and 1972. 1605, 1611, 1591, 1572, 1709, 1729. It popped a few times, man.
Yeah.
1911 caused much alarm in Manila. Aerial view of Taal volcano and lake circa 1930s. It's no joke. Taal scares the crap out of me because it's super volcano, baby. There was another period of volcanic activity from 1965 to 1977. The area activity concentrated in the vicinity of Mount Tabaro. In 1965, erupted class was phreatomagmatic, generated interaction of magma with the lake water, produced a violent explosion that cut an embayment on the volcano island. The eruption generated cold base surges, which traveled several kilometers across the lake to all devastating villages on the lake shore and killing about 100 people. One American geologist who was witness that an atomic explosion was a soldier visited the volcano shortly after 65 eruption and recognized the base surge, now called pyroclastic surge, as a process in volcanic eruption. Precursory signs were not interpreted correctly until after the eruption. The population of the island was evacuated only after the onset of the eruption. After 9 months of quietness, Taal activated July 5th in 1966 with another phreatic eruption from Mount Tabaro, followed by another similar in 67 of August. Strombolian eruptions, which started 5 months after January 31st, 1968, produced the first historical lava fountaining witnessed from Taal. Another Strombolian eruption followed a year later on October 29. The massive flows from 2 eruptions eventually covered the bay created by the 1965 eruption, reaching the shore Lake Taal. The last major activities of the volcano during the period were the phreatic eruptions of 76 and 1977. In the 21st century, 77 eruptions of the volcano had shown signs since 1991, a strong seismic activity, mud pots, geysers, and the Philippines Institute of Volcanology and Seismology regularly issued notices to people. 2008 notified public, and 10 volcanic earthquakes happened. 2010, the alert status was raised to 2, and hazardous steam explosions and toxic gases areas of hot ground. So it's still pissed off in 2010. Very, very, very bad stuff. 2011, from April 9th to the July 5th, the alert level was raised to 2 again because it frequently peaked about 115 tremors with intensities, maximum intensity of 4 on May 30th. 2019 alert was raised again based on the 24-hour monitoring. 57 earthquakes happened on November 11th in the morning of the 12th as well. 2020, the volcano erupted in the afternoon of January 12th. The alert level of institute to 2 to 4. So they raised it all the way to 4 this time. It was the eruption from the main crater of the volcanic island. The eruption spewed out ashes to some cities, and which canceled classes and everybody and flights, and everybody got the hell out the way. The volcano produced volcanic lightning above its craters and clouds. The eruption progressed into magmatic eruption characterized by a lava fountain with thunders and lightning. We saw all this. By January 26, 20, it observed inconsistent but decreasing volcanic activity of Ta'al. Alert level lowered. In all total, 39 people died in the eruption, most because they refused to leave their homes and suffered health-related problems during the evacuation as well. In 21, Ta'al Island was promptly evacuated due to the volcano's increased activity again. Sulfur dioxide, gases, VOG. A VOG is a invisible gas, and very deadly. Africa happened it, and it wiped out a whole village. Alert level raised to 3, and then 22 January, Freakomatic burst into the main crater. Raise alert status to 3. Short-lived Freakomatic eruption, blah, blah, blah. 23 sulfur dioxide levels around the recorded massive increase, causing a VOG again and suspension of classes. And the same VOG as in June forced a suspension of classes in Batangas. VOG was released an average of 3,400 tons per day. That's pretty serious.
That's not actually that big of an amount. You think about it.
It's deadly though, man.
It's deadly, but it's. I mean,
Location,
that's
Central Peru.
compared to what
Class,
can do. It's
moderate.
not that big.
5.0. Depth, 152 kilometers.
Peru, boom. I get a little bit worried about Peru. USGS doesn't have it yet, as far as I can tell.
Didn't QuakeCat say that was the unopposed to this?
4.4, 4.4, 4.0, 4.1. I don't know what the we have to look it up. Copy.
Thanks.
Anapod.
That looks like it's about right.
We couldn't find the place you typed. I hate the application. I just can't stand the app. Can't do it.
Yeah, I'm looking like what happened in 2010 after the 7.4 in the celibacy. Looks like the illusions went off with multiple 6s.
Or would it be closer to Easter Island, maybe? No, probably Peru, I suppose.
I want to see if Peru was going off too back then.
Find episode of world. Okay, search. No results again. It don't like that darn thing. There's another way to do it though.
I think I can do it.
There we go.
I just got to do a little copy and paste.
Well, Kamchatka had a 6.3 2010 after
it's in South America. Yeah.
Oh, Reunion Island had a 6.3. So that's on that same line. Because Reunion Island is where La Piton de la Fournaise is. Because I'm taking the date of the 7.4 that QuakeCat put on there, and then looking after to see if I can find stuff along that same line going up.
Meh. Such a pompous. Anyway,
I see Chile going crazy, but that was afterwards. I had to look before and see if it was doing it too. 6.2 Halmahera. Gulf of California had a 6.7. That's interesting.
Actually, I'm coming up with like Brazil for antipode.
yeah.
And so 7.7 Sumatra. That's the same line. Oh,
It's
and Voden Island's got a 6.8. And the South Sandwich got a 6.5.
Right.
So that's in 2010. And I went all the way to the end of the year from July 23rd.
In the last 2 hours, we've had a C 8.66 for a max. Almost an
Now
antipode.
I'm going to go from July 23rd backwards and see what.
Yeah, it's in the middle of Brazil. Now that's the second time we've hit that Brazilian one. There was another earthquake. Oh, the 7.6 was out there in Brazil as well.
But Peru is within 500 miles of where they're saying the antipode is. So, I mean, you could almost say it's an antipode quake. I mean, not being 100% precise, but just being in the general direction, you know.
And I think we should ask Kat that question.
I forget if it was 500 miles or 1,000 miles forgiveness on it, but
yeah, Brazil really doesn't get a whole lot of quakes. Peru is at depth. Now the western side does very deep quakes in both Brazil, Peru, and Bolivia.
Yeah, like far over in the Amazon and
right.
Acre, Brazil. There, Acre, I think they call it ACRE. That's where the deeps are.
And this one's almost dead center in the Amazon, Manaus. So, you know, this area right here is where the earthquake is. I mean, the antipode. Let me share that with you boys online. Window. Where the hell is it? Chrome tab. There we go.
Like Bolivia and the western,
right
western
in the middle,
side of
right in the middle here. So, if it's in this middle, kind of, it's below the, what is it? It's above Cancer. It's just below the equator. So looking over, it's about the same attitude as the Indonesia quakes in off Sumatra. So it's about the same level.
Latitude.
Yeah, same latitude. We haven't seen anything near Ascension Island in a while, or the East Chile Rise. There was something but it's days old. 7 days. Yeah.
Wake Dad says yes, there has been.
Yeah, that's a little below coming over. Papua New Guinea. So on that line, I don't know that we can say anything on that, but if we do, I just don't know.
Well, Canuck, is there a good chance? We're talking about these two quakes that are running on the same lediment. Is there a good chance that the next quake could be on a different lediment, like the one next to it, either side?
Well, yeah, sometimes I think that's happens because that's how you get the triangle shape.
Right. And we've done this like a billion times. So here, let me see if we can share this for you. I have to share things because over there on the other channels, and loading. Okay, share this. All right. What we've seen. There's an update. We've seen guitar strings. Everybody sees the guitar strings. We see these lineaments. They're not always east-west. They can be at a diagonal or what have you. There are other ones, that go this way and that way, and then back and forth.
Well, like I'm saying, we've almost kind of established that lediment right now is lit up.
Yeah.
It's vibrating like no other.
All right, thank you.
What's the chances of it going farther up the line and then popping on one side of the lediment or the other? Not necessarily saying that lediment is going to keep popping on the way up.
Well, we'd have to see what's invisible, bud. So yeah, but I think they are seeing it with the new Landsat 9 because those new studies that I just read on the African lineaments are all from 2022, 23, and 24. And it's talking about how they identify them with the Landsat images. And they have them crossing over, and they in these studies, they say what, like the ocean fractures, what ones they go through all the way to South America.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what all this new stuff, which is why I want to talk about the satellites. Because now, since they launched that new one,
right,
they're talking about the lineament thing again.
All right, we're going to go right to the satellites, but let me finish this thought pattern.
Well, we probably don't have time to do the satellites.
8:20. How long are we've been on? An hour and 8 minutes. Well, maybe we do. We'll try. Cursory, nothing too deep. Over the last 2 rabbit holes, we've talked about this kind of event happening. This is the invisible world around us. There are lineaments. There are magnetic lines that establish themselves as a conduit of sorts from the core of our planet straight up in the air, and then going out from the North Pole and down into the South Pole, and all around our planet. And if you talk with a lot of scientists, they'll say these things. What we're beginning to see, and we've supposed this is the case, that one of these lineaments, like we have on this page, this black line, that there's an energy that travels along one line, and in certain cases, that energy can spark another line to go be energized as well. Let's say this top one here is at a measurement of 5. The lower one would vibrate at a lesser rate, like maybe a 3 or a 2, and then so forth. But if there's another line that is activated in what I'm assuming is in a positive or a negative opposite of this channel, then that energy can leap from that lineament onto another lineament and travel down that lane. And that's where we can see these powerful quakes kind of be triangulated along separate lineaments, but still be invisibly somehow attached. Now, that's kind of a real superficial way to say what we're going to talk about next. And in what we've talked about the last rabbit hole, real brief. And I'm going to go ahead and go ahead. You have a question?
Yeah, I actually have a question because that liniment has gotten bumped twice now in 24 hours.
Uh-huh.
So you've already got the bump in the next liniments over that are vibrating from the first quake.
Uh-huh.
Now you throw the second quake in there. Couldn't that intensify it?
Well, see, that's the thing. The
3 to 4
lines,
times fold?
the quakes aren't.
If it bumps it right.
Mm-hmm. There is a thought process based on a couple of the articles we talked about last week, where scientists are wondering, and this is an open story, they're wondering that the ground affecting the atmosphere all the way to the ionosphere. Whereas before they thought the ionosphere was separate and wholly, complete separate entity, and no way was it ever affecting the planet down below, where the crust is. They said there's nothing that ever comes down that way. They're starting to question that. And our thought process is that we do question that already because we see some sort of evidence of that just by our observations. Now, what Canuck's going to open the door to is going to talk a little bit about satellites and what their capabilities are and the history thereof, because what I just drew on this page is kind of gobbledygook. They're straight lines, but if you take these lines, you wrap them around a circle or it's kind of a semicircle or world. It's not round. It's kind of a ugly looking thing, but we look at it as it being round because of the water.
Well, kind of like a barbershop pole deal.
Yeah. In the barbershop would be down
as it's wrapping around the liniment as it goes through.
Right. And what we're saying, what's wrapping is positives and negative ions that are traveling. And along these ions, molecules are made and broken. And the Earth, I think in a lesser case than what's happening on the sun, is mimicking what's happening on the sun. Meaning it's some sort of plasma, some sort of energy. I can't really call it because it's just new. But this barbershop pole that we have drawn here, it's like the whole thing around the planet's lit all the way around at one time. And it can increase in frequency and lower in frequency. And the frequency would be the distance between these wraps. And we wouldn't know it, but we understand how electricity works. And the peaks and the valleys between these can be height and be low. Now they can be vibrating for some time and they can be less. There's some place up in the atmosphere called the ring current. And when that thing gets charged up and it connects to one of these lineaments, we see a lot of quake activity. And we're not saying one's causing the other. We're just saying our observation is that this invisible world is somehow connected to what we're seeing in the visible world. And we're starting to see that. And now I'm going to turn it over to Canuck, and he's going to, I don't know if you're going to put a picture up or send it to me or.
Yeah, I'm going to put a link in there for. I'm going to do the GOES satellites first because most
Okay,
people
buddy.
know about them because the weather satellites, but they're for a lot more than just weather.
All right. All right. So what they basically do is the satellites were all created for one purpose, but they can also be for another purpose.
Because they have different instruments on them for
Right.
different things. So when I link the
They
video
picked
in
up
here,
a lot more than they bargained for.
Yeah.
so I'm going to put the link. The video is short; it's only 8
Okay.
minutes, but it gives like the whole history of them from the
And that's
original GOES
Creative
one up to
Commons.
the current one, which they just launched 2 weeks ago. It'll let me copy the link.
Looks like Japan had a 4.9 as well. On the back side of Japan, where they had the 7.6. All right. Do it here. Share this tab. View on thing. There you go. All right. This is free to use. Creative Commons.
When NOAA's GOES-U satellite is launched in 2024, it will be the final satellite in a heralded NOAA satellite program and a bridge to another future age of advanced satellite technology. For nearly 50 years, NOAA and NASA have partnered to develop and advance NOAA's geostationary satellites as part of the most sophisticated weather observing, environmental monitoring, and space weather monitoring satellite system in the world. When GOES-U reaches orbit, it will be the culmination of nearly 5 decades of state-of-the-art geostationary Earth-observing satellites. It all began back in October 1975. For the launch of NOAA's GOES-1 satellite, which monitored our weather and space weather.
We've come a long way in weather forecasting since the early balloon launching days, thanks mainly to weather satellites. With each succeeding one, these weather sentinels have become more and more sophisticated. Here, the synchronous meteorological satellite. 2 are already in orbit, with a 3rd scheduled for launch this fall. The synchronous meteorological satellite pictures are made into film loops daily. Meteorologists are hopeful that this kind of information will give them clues to the weather conditions that, for instance, cause tornadoes and other fast-moving weather systems.
As groundbreaking as it was, it had limited capabilities and only viewed Earth about 10% of the time. By 1980, a new series of GOES satellites went into orbit. These satellites had the capability to obtain vertical profiles of temperature and moisture throughout the various layers of the atmosphere. This added dimension gave forecasters a more accurate picture of the intensity and extent of storms and allowed them to better monitor rapidly changing events and make more accurate predictions. In 1994, GOES-I was launched, and with it came significant improvements in the resolution, quantity, and continuity of GOES imagery and data, thanks to a new 3-axis method of stabilization. Once it reached orbit, it was renamed GOES-8 and gave forecasters more accurate information to pinpoint locations of storms, wildfires, and other hazards. By the mid-2000s, GOES-N, GOES-O, and GOES-P further improved the imager and sounder resolution to better pinpoint the locations of intense storms. This satellite series also had improved optics, better batteries, and more power, allowing for more continuous imaging.
3, 2, 1.
Then in 2016, the current generation of geostationary satellites was launched, the GOES-R series. With this series came new advancements that included state-of-the-art instruments like the Geostationary Lightning Mapper and the Advanced Baseline Imager, or ABI.
So when we got the GOES-R, I remember sitting on the forecast desk and seeing some of the earliest data, and it was a game changer, an absolute critical part of our forecast process. To see that ABI and actually track cloud movement and track how much moisture's in clouds, it was amazing. And it enables us to look at phenomenon like atmospheric rivers and be able to help us with the forecast for the flooding, the amount of rainfall. And on the front lines at the National Weather Service, we provide decision support. And so to have that information from GOES-R, it really enabled us to communicate information to decision makers for them to make really tough decisions.
Well, we knew the technology was going to be game-changing. We knew the ABI with its capabilities, and then the geostationary lightning mapper, which was a brand new instrument. We knew that was going to be revolutionary. We even thought it's so new that there's probably going to be new applications, but the range of new applications that people have found have really surprised me. We found over time that ABI can detect turbulence, so it can really look at a patch of sky and see when there's going to be turbulence for aircraft flying through it. We've recently found that ABI can actually detect large methane leaks, so it can tell when something is going wrong in a plant, a refinery, and be able to track that feature.
Space weather monitoring has also been part of the GOES mission since its inception. So after GOES-U, what's next for NOAA's geostationary satellites? Its planned successor will be a state-of-the-art satellite series called Geostationary Extended Observations, or GeoXO. The first GeoXO satellite is expected to launch in the early 2030s as the GOES-R series nears the end of its operational lifetime. Like GOES-R, GeoXO will continue NOAA's 5 decades of critical Earth-observing data. However, GeoXO will have new technology on board. One of the new instruments will be an infrared sounder, which will allow weather forecasters to see the atmosphere in extremely fine detail.
It really looks at very fine slices of the atmosphere across a wide area so that it builds up sort of a 3D view of what the atmosphere looks like. And forecasters can use that information to be very precise about their forecasts, where a storm is going to be, how severe a storm is going to be. They can even do predictions of how much water, what the precipitation levels are going to be. So that's one new capability that our forecasters are really looking forward to.
The sounder will also help detect quickly changing wind speeds and direction, which will assist in everything from hurricane prediction to aviation forecasts.
So a big part of the National Weather Service's mission is to forecast for aviation, for safety, and also looking at that fuel economy, looking at detecting the direction of the wind. So that capability is just going to be absolutely amazing for aviation and earlier detection and quicker detection of tropical systems when it comes to rapid intensification.
There will be 2 other new instruments on GeoXO as well. One will be an air quality instrument that will monitor and track harmful air pollutants, including wildfire smoke and volcanic gases. It will provide continuous observations and measurements of atmospheric composition, which will help improve air quality forecasts and alerts across the United States. Another instrument will measure ocean color, which helps detect and track threats to our lakes and ocean, such as harmful algal blooms and oil spills. Perhaps most critically, NOAA's GeoXO will also meet new needs for the data user community, including forecasters, researchers, and others who depend on receiving crucial environmental information across the Western Hemisphere. Data from GeoXO will contribute to weather prediction models and drive short-term weather forecasts and severe weather warnings.
These users are looking for advanced capabilities, and they've told us what they want to see in this next generation, which is going to start observing in the 2030s but continue into the 2050s. And with the changes on our planet and with the society's increased reliance on environmental information, it's really important to be able to serve this wider variety of needs.
GeoXO observations will allow scientists to better monitor environmental conditions and will complement observations from other satellites from NOAA, NASA, and our international partners. This will help them to address emerging environmental challenges, respond to the effects of Earth's changing climate, and improve forecasting and warnings of severe weather and environmental hazards.
All right, Canuck, you're on, buddy.
Okay, so that gives you a little history on them and the new one that they're going to eventually end up launching in the 2030s. So I have another link I'm going to put here. It's a list of all of them, and it says when they launched, when they were decommissioned, and what ones are still up there and what ones they're using for other things now. So I'm going to put that link in there. And then once that's up, I'll explain some of the newer ones that they're still using.
Go ahead, Canuck.
Okay.
You can see it inside of on your screen.
Yeah, it's just slow coming up on mine. There's a little bit of a delay. Yeah, okay, it's up there now. Well, I guess I'll have to explain, because it did say a little bit in the video about it, but when they were designing them, they give them a letter. So like everything from goes A right on up. But once they actually get in position in geosynchronous orbit, then they give them a number. So there's been all of them from like goes 1 all the way up to the current one, which is goes 19, which they just launched 2 weeks ago. Now, the ones that are up there now that they're still using are all the ones from 14 up. So goes 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 they're using. Now, a couple of them are actually being used by the Space Force of the older ones. So they took control of them. So nobody really knows what they're using those 2 for. But the last 4, 16, 17, 18, 19, goes 16 is the one, and goes 17 are the ones we see on COD, because one is goes west and the others goes east. And the 2 ones, the 2 newest ones that they launched, 18 and 19, will eventually replace goes west and goes east, or goes west and goes east satellites. So that stuff that's on COD, we're all getting from those last 4 goes satellites. So it's crazy stuff.
But when they kick up the last 2, are they going to take down the west satellite or decommission the west one first, or the east one? Have they said?
I think they did the west one. I think they're actually in the process or have already replaced it with 18. And then 19 will eventually replace east. But they had 18, I think they have as a backup now.
But they still
They're still
up there, and they're being used by the government.
Yeah, well, the 16, 17, 18, 19 are all for NOAA and NASA. But a couple of the older ones, Space Force is using now, 14 and 15, I think.
Yeah, they can see you take a turd in the woods.
Yeah, because if you look where most of the new stuff is all launched, it's all launched from the Vandenberg Space Force base. So that's where they're launching everything from, all these new satellites since 2016. So it's pretty good. So you can connect all the dots once you start digging into them. But they do a lot of different stuff, right? Because they do hotspots and all sorts of different things. They do space weather. So it's wild, all the different stuff that's on them. Of course, the newer the satellite, the more stuff it's going to have on it, doing different things. So
are SpaceX launching these ones?
Yeah, SpaceX is using their Falcon 9 rocket, I think it is, that shoots them up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have details of the stuff on the SpaceX site too, like all the launches. So it talks about what they're launching. So you can get all this information about these satellites from a bunch of different sources. You can get it from NOAA, NASA, SpaceX. Because I tried to pick all the ones that had the simplest information, so it would be easy for people to take it in. But they have like you can go in and look and see what the payload is on every one and what all the instruments are. Like you could spend 3 days just checking what all the instruments that they have on does. So it's crazy stuff. And the new one they just launched on June 25th, it just got into position 2 days ago, because I looked on the updated thing, because they track all the missions, so you can go in under each mission and see what point it is in it and all that, and it tells you. And it actually doesn't start sending data down until September. So it's going to take it, all the stuff they have to do to it to make sure it's all in the right spot and working properly and all that. So it's going to take it till September before it's actually sending data back to Earth for everybody to.
I suppose they have a crap load of tests too.
Yeah.
Do you know the current? There's 3 satellites up there right now that we're public's using, sort of, that we have access to. Do you know?
Those are the GOES ones, but I haven't talked about the ones that Firms uses yet, because they're all totally different.
Oh, shite.
So I'm just doing GOES because most people know about the weather satellites, but they don't really know what they're all for. Well, there's other satellites up there too, and that's what Firms uses. Firms isn't using any GOES ones right now. They probably will be able to eventually, because GOES looks at wildfires and everything else too, in hotspots, because they all have because how I got into this, I just started researching all the ones that had infrared capability. Well, pretty much everyone, all these new ones up there have that capability. And I don't know how far it goes back, but in that video it mentioned one of the ones way back, they were watching wildfires on it, one of the GOES ones. So that's why when I first started watching the hotspot thing, the hotspots were actually coming from the GOES satellite. So I assume it was like 16. I don't know that for sure. Maybe it was an older one. But then they decommissioned the hotspots for that. And now they've moved on to all these other satellites, because there's actually 6 satellites that they're using for Firms right now that are totally different ones other than GOES. So I don't know if you want me to explain all of them now or wait till next time. Because that's probably too much info in one night.
Yeah, we're 132 right now.
Yeah.
So basically, GOES is for weather
and space weather.
Yeah.
And the Firms are the ones for the hotspots.
Yeah. What do they call the Firms ones? Is that?
Yeah, they're for hotspots and wildfires mainly. They're the satellites with infrared capability because that's how we're seeing all the stuff where the hotspots are. And there's a bunch of different satellites. There's actually 6 that they're using. 2 are going to be retired this year, and then
how many GOES?
4 other. Well, the GOES ones that the public can access is only 4.
Right okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So that's what we see. We see GOES, 4 of them, and those also see infrared. That'd be interesting to know which satellite does which.
Yeah.
Are these Firm satellites, were they launched by the U.S. or were they launched by another country?
No, they're all launched from the U.S. because the U.S. actually has the most satellites. Now, from what I read on the stuff about Greece, because they're launching their own satellites to make their own Firms just for Greece. That's super advanced with AI and all this other stuff.
Yeah, we're probably good. Let's get into that on Saturday.
Yeah. So there's at least 20 right now satellites up there that do look for wildfires and hotspots. Right. But I'm only going to focus on the Firms ones because that's the ones we use every day because we don't have access to the other ones yet.
Right. And there are other satellites doing other stuff too, from what I gather too. So we're going to expand this knowledge base on I just turned it down. I made it turn the boys down too, but I don't know.
Heck, we're good.
We're going to expand this knowledge base in on the satellites, and we're going to detail which satellite's doing which, and then when we read articles, we'll say, "Hey, this satellite, which capabilities are this, and this." They're using it, this little piece of it, to help us see what we're talking about right here.
Well, and I'll give you a little
One tool
I'm gonna give you a
that
little.
you, as a listener, or you as a individual who's part of the JSL family, will have access to and be able to understand what's going on around you. That you're not just a Jaffo, but you're actually when myself, or when we're having a rabbit hole, or when some event's happening, and you can listen, and you can go out and search and go, hey, look at what's happening right here. And you can say, hey, yeah, and we'll draw our attention over there. Because like what happened tonight, we just came on and then 7.1 hit. It's like, wow, man, we didn't even catch it right when it hit. It was lower. It happened like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's what Rabbit Hole's about, So Saturday, I've already talked with the boys. Canuck is available, and I think Clem will be too. We've been doing these rabbit holes now on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Not to say Saturday is a for sure thing, so don't think that. But always come in if you're not on the weekends. We do stuff, and sometimes in the middle of the week we do a rabbit hole, or in the middle of the freaking day, depending on my mood and something's happening. And Clem and I did a rabbit hole last week. Nobody was here. And then right at the end, Kat came in, and she had to ask some questions. What's going on? And we filled her in. But the rabbit hole is a deeper in search for what's going on, and it's not just a report. So again, thanks everybody for being here on this rabbit hole on July 10th of 2024. Canuck, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I'll just say that one of the ones I'll talk about next time is the Landsat one, which is the one that sends all the data to the USGS. So cool. It's pretty interesting.
Cool. Yeah, we'll expand on. So I think you're going to talk a little bit about firms on Saturday, and then you'll go into Landsat.
Yeah, because firms is using Landsat too, but it's using 4 other ones besides that.
All right, cool. Clem,
I just want to thank Joel Slick Studios and for being able to host this and everything, and connect for the wealth of knowledge I've learned tonight just from listening.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Clem. Thank you, Canuck. And thank you, everybody who also is online and participated in the discussion. It's continuing as we close up here on YouTube and Facebook and X. And thanks a whole lot, everybody. Have a great night. It's 8:50 here on the West, and we've gone on an hour and 40 minutes. About hour 45 over here on Twitch. But big hugs, y'all. And remember, don't get none on you. And we'll see you in the morning, 7 a.m. Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Hey, and don't forget, every Friday night, and it might change, but every Friday night at 9 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Set 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, The Shit Show. And with Luke Klemmer, there you go. It's online here. And you'll enjoy that. It's a look at people and their jobs, blue-collar jobs, people who actually get to work and make the world go round. there's so much out there that gets overlooked. It's crazy. It really is. It's you can see it right there on our screen, and you can see how we're all doing down here. Got 18 viewers, but
it doesn't matter if it's a guy picking the trash, or the guy welding your tank, your water tank, or the guy putting in your sewer, or the firefighter, or the ambulance guy, or the police officer, or anybody in between. If you're out there getting your hands dirty every day, I want to talk to you.
Right. And if you know anybody who's really good at doing their job, and they're a plumber, or they're a fireman, or they're a truck driver, and who don't mind spending an hour or maybe a little more with us, and if that's what you do, reach out to myself at JSL Discussion at Gmail. It's singular, not plural. And or contact us here on twitch.tv/JoeSelig Live. You can reach us out here, and I'll get you over to Luke. And it's a great show, by the way. And it's PG-13, so, don't worry about it. It's adults, okay? It's adults only, and it's not sexist. It's not, that kind of stuff. It's just real talk for real people. There you go.
Exactly.
I'm writing it down. There you go.
I appreciate the me being able to help you out on the rabbit holes, and you being able to help me out on all this other stuff, man. It's a lovely working relationship. And then having Canuck for the wealth of like his 3-decker brain he's got going. I mean, I just love it.
The triple checker brain, man. I know, it's like, I just got a big old spatula and I'm just feeding y'all. Pulling it in here. He's the oven. I'm like reaching in there, pulling that out. Okay, pull that out, put that in. It's all good. Love y'all, and even your father and your brother and uncle. Yeah. D. Clay Paul seems to like man who liked the show, Joe.
Yeah.
Paul's a nice guy.
Star Wars and Do satellites will have to be another episode.
Yeah, not doubt. And there's more things to come here at JSL. Again, I'm still working on the studio. The foundation is laid. The good stuff is going to happen by the end of the year. Things will be radically different here on JSL, and good stuff, always good stuff. And I look forward to what's going on. So love y'all. Love you, Clem. Love you, Canuck. Have a good night. Tim, good night, Vampy, and the rest of y'all. It's been fun.
Yep. Good night, everybody.